Hello and welcome to Drama Recaps. Today we will delve into the 2015 American romantic fantasy film called The Age of Adaline. Spoilers ahead. The story follows a woman who once was called Adeline Bowman but now lives as Jennifer Larson. After leaving a taxi, she knocks on a door, and a man named Jeff answers, asking her to be quiet since his father is asleep. Adeline has obtained fake documents and encourages Jeff to use his abilities for better things instead of illegal activities. She goes back home, where she lives with her pet and owns many antique items, including a black and white wedding picture. She plans to move to a farm and works at the city archive. It's New Year's Eve, but Adeline is at work digitizing old tapes. Some materials catch her interest, such as black and white footage of a devastating earthquake in San Francisco and even a recording of herself from over a century ago. A newspaper once mentioned her as the first newborn baby of the new year. In her past, Adeline married a young engineer named Clarence Prescott in 1929 and had a daughter named Fleming. Tragically, her husband died in a bridge construction accident in 1937. 10 months later, while driving to her parents' house, Adeline lost control of her car, and it plunged into icy water. The cold sent her into hypoxic shock, stopping her breathing and heartbeat. Suddenly, lightning struck her car 3 times. This event caused Adeline's body to become immune to aging, and she remained young forever. For years, she explained her youthful appearance as the result of a healthy diet and the right cosmetics. Her life grew complicated when she was suspected of having fake documents because she looked too young to be 45. After this incident, she moved to San Francisco and studied medicine, trying to understand her unique condition. Eventually, Adeline realized that there was no scientific reason for her unaging condition. The FBI became curious about her and told her not to worry, they only wanted to do some medical tests. However, when they took her to a military base, she panicked and escaped from the car. Adeline decided to run away, saying goodbye to her daughter. She planned to live under a fake name, changing it every 10 years. In a week, she'll take on a new identity, Susan, and move to a farm. She has kept this secret for 60 years already. One evening, her friend Reagan invited her to a New Year's party at a fancy hotel. At the hotel, she saw an old photo of herself, which brought back memories. A man named Dale talked to her, and she noticed a good-looking man in the crowd. Later, her daughter called to wish her a happy new year and they agreed to meet the next day. Adeline left the party early, and in the elevator, she met the man she had noticed earlier. His name was Ellis. They talked pleasantly, but Adeline didn't flirt back. The next day, her birthday, she spent with her 65-year-old daughter, Fleming, who looks older than her. Fleming wanted to move to an upscale retirement home, but Adeline wanted her to live with her instead. They didn't agree on what to do. Back at work, Adeline learned that a man named Mr. Jones, who was actually Ellis from the party, was donating books to the library. He had done this to impress her, and as a condition, he wanted her to go on a date with him. She agreed, though reluctantly. Ellis chose an unusual spot for their date, the city's mines, where an old boat had been found. He wants to make the place known to the public. When he asked Adeline to tell him about herself, she said it was time to go home. Ellis offered to walk Adeline home, and she told him about her plan to move soon. Despite this, he convinced her to go on another date. The next day, Adeline visited a lawyer to add a recipient to her account, reflecting her different identities. That evening, she met Ellis at his home, where he was doing renovations and cooked dinner himself. Ellis told her that he had seen her before the party, reading a Braille book, and had wanted to meet her. Although Adeline warned him not to kiss her, Ellis did, and they shared a passionate moment. The next morning, Ellis asked if they would see each other again, but Adeline didn't answer. On her way home, she saw a park bench that reminded her of a past love proposal that she had turned down. When she got home, she found her old dog lying on the floor. The vet said they couldn't help, and Adeline was heartbroken. She ignored Ellis's calls and cried, remembering how she had to say goodbye to so many loved ones while she remained unchanged. Ellis eventually found her on the street and tried to talk to her, but she told him nothing could happen between them. She began to prepare to move, reflecting on her long life and the lies she had told. Adeline's daughter, Fleming, encouraged her to stop running and lying and find her true love. Taking her daughter's advice, Adeline apologized to Ellis, and they reconnected. She took him to a special place, a cinema that had been popular in the 1930s. Ellis was surprised to hear Adeline talk about the 1930s as if she had been there. They were in a place where the ceiling looked like a starry sky thanks to special threads. During this romantic time, Ellis asked Adeline to come to his parents' 40th wedding anniversary. On the long drive, they met Ellis's sister, Kiki, who was very friendly and joined them. Meanwhile, Ellis's father, William, was worried that Ellis's new girlfriend might be after his money. But when he saw Adeline, he recognized her and called her by her real name, Adeline Bowman. Adeline, now going by Jennifer, said that Adeline Bowman was her mother, and they looked very alike. She lied, saying that Adeline had died 6 years ago, which saddened William. William remembered his youth, how he met Adeline when her car broke down, and how they spent 5 weeks together. Adeline broke her promise to herself and fell in love with him. Back in the present, the family was together for breakfast. William talked about Adeline and how she inspired his love for astronomy and math. His wife, Kathy, was unhappy, thinking William still loved Adeline. He assured her that it was all in the past. During a family game that night, everyone noticed how knowledgeable Adeline was. Ellis mentioned a comet his father named after Adeline, and she tried to hide her sadness. Later, she went for a walk, and William joined her, telling her about his memories and how he wanted to propose, but she never came. Before bed, Ellis told Adeline he loved her, but she wasn't ready to say it back. The next day, William noticed a scar on Adeline's arm that was just like one he remembered from his past love. He was shocked, remembering how he had stitched up the wound himself and taken a photo with Adeline. In the present moment, William looked at a photograph, understanding the truth. He found Adeline during her walk and told her that he recognized her scar. Adeline wept, unable to explain why she stopped aging. William realized why his love had vanished and urged Adeline not to run from Ellis like she did from him. Confused and scared, Adeline ran back to pack and leave a note for Ellis, planning to flee again. William attempted to stop her, but she believed leaving was best. Meanwhile, Ellis noticed her belongings gone and found the note. He wanted to follow her, but William advised against it. Ellis sensed his father was keeping a secret. Adeline didn't answer his calls, but he chased after her anyway. While driving, Adeline reflected on her loved ones and decided to stop running. But as she was about to turn back, a truck crashed into her car, sending it off the road. For the first time in 78 years, snow fell in the area. Ellis arrived to find Adeline unconscious. Her body temperature was dangerously low, and her heart stopped. Ellis tried to revive her, unaware that she was 107 years old. Paramedics arrived and used a defibrillator to save her. She was rushed to the hospital. Ellis visited her in the hospital, thinking she had run away because he declared his love. Adeline hugged him and confessed her love too. She finally told him the truth about her age. Her daughter Fleming joined them, introducing herself as Adeline's grandmother, but now Ellis knew the reality. Soon after, the Jones family held a party for their wedding anniversary. William made a heartfelt toast to his wife, honoring her love and the importance of family. A year passed, and they got a new dog. Fleming moved in with Adeline and her boyfriend. Adeline noticed her first gray hair, realizing she was aging again, and felt happy. That year, the comet named after Adeline, discovered by William, passed by Earth.